Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Welcome to Learners Podcast. Today this is the second batch of the training on the Islamic Finance and Economics. This is going to be the fourth lecture of this training. So with me today, Dr. Tijjani, sir, are you there? Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, Prof. Thank you for having me.
Sir, please share your screen so that we can start.
Okay, please, can you allow me?
Yes, Dr. Tijjani, share the screen, please.
Okay. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Thank you for joining us today. Our today's session is a session 4, which we are going to discuss hugely or briefly today on cryptocurrency. You know, the cryptocurrency is become an issue and subject matter of discussion. A lot of people are talking about cryptocurrency. So at least we need to know what exactly the cryptocurrency is before we even dip into the position of Sharia, and before we even start discussing is that allowed or not. We need to understand the fundamental part of it. We need to understand how the cryptocurrency operates before we even come to the issue of Bitcoin. The issue of Bitcoin is not even the matter now. We are to talk about how the cryptocurrency works first and what is the cryptocurrency. So the expected area to be covered, which we are expecting to cover it today, is what is cryptocurrency. Understanding cryptocurrency, type of cryptocurrency, advantage and disadvantage of cryptocurrency, and criticisms of the cryptocurrency. So we are all to look into these issues and discuss them today. It's not only what we are going to discuss, because the issue or the session will continuously giving us the feedback and also what cryptocurrency is before we even move to blockchain, before we even move to Bitcoin and other related digital currencies. So our session today will look at that straightly. Okay, cryptocurrency. When we talk about cryptocurrency, it's originated from cryptography. But a cryptocurrency is a digital or visual currency that is secured by cryptography, which makes it nearly impossible to counterfeit or double spend. What exactly is referring to cryptography? That is coding, or is a form of coding a program. Is a form of developing a coding system of program to ensure the secured interface between the users and also those who are interacting with. So cryptocurrency here is not a physical currency. It is a digital currency. Per se, you may say visual currency that is secured by cryptography, which makes it nearly impossible. That is, there is no double stand of it in terms of double spending the money. When you remove the money from your own wallet and send it to other person's wallet, the money remains there. The money, you have no authority over it. So many cryptocurrencies are decentralized network based on blockchain technology. So what we are trying to say here is the cryptocurrency, initially, if you understand that is a digital or visual currency, it means the owner or the person that developed it is trying his best possible to see that the currency is not double spent, because that's what people are afraid of. If, for instance, I have to send you that digital currency and also I can make use of it in other way, it means it's not a currency, because you surrender the ownership to other party, but you can also duplicate it and also spend it. So the cryptocurrency is not like that. The cryptocurrency is a currency that is being strictly secured by cryptography, which makes it nearly impossible for any user or the owner to make use of it twice. So many cryptocurrency, like I've said, they are decentralized. When we are referring to decentralized, it means, our normal currency, when you make a transaction, it has to go to that central bank of that particular country. The central bank will make approval of that particular transaction before the transaction proceeds. But in this cryptocurrency, what they are saying is the cryptocurrency is decentralized. No need of you to look for the central bank to make approval for you. It will only works peer-to-peer. What we are referring to peer-to-peer is between two individuals, straight. Only the computer may make use of, so that you can have your destiny. So the first technology being used by cryptocurrency and now is booming is blockchain. Blockchain technology, a lot of people do not give the line demarcation between the cryptocurrency, that is the currency, digital currency, and technology part of it, which is blockchain. Some things that blockchain is the cryptocurrency, some things that blockchain is the digital currency, something that blockchain is the visual currency. They are not. They are two separate things. The technology being used in order to make the efficient movement of that digital or visual currency, that's what we call blockchain. And we are going to see how blockchain works and how it's been moved from one other direction to another. So in this, the use of blockchain is to distribute the ledger enforced by a disparate network of computers. You have several computers. That computers, we call them as a miners. They are the one mining the transaction from a peer-to-peer, that is from group A to group B, from first individual to other individual. So that's what that computer do. And also, you can see the computer being interface, that is being mediator between the first party and the second party, because when you make a transaction, it has to be broadcast to such miners. The miners will try to fix that one and put that transaction in a blockchain of it. So a defining feature of the cryptocurrency is that they are generally not issued by any central authority. So these are the remarks. The cryptocurrency marked you are not owned by any central authority, government, or any central bank. They are not owned by any of these mentioned, any of those things we mentioned. Rather, them theoretically immune to government interface and manipulation, so that they cannot be under government manipulation, under government directive, under government law. They cannot be under that. So please let us understand the fundamental part of cryptocurrency. So a cryptocurrency is a form of digital assets based on a network that is distributed across a large number of computers. This decentralized structure allowed them to exist outside the control of government and central authority. Like I've said, it's allowed them to operate outside the government's and central authority. Someone may think that, if that's the case, what is the essence of being a government? Since the government has no rules, the government has no power over its currency. The government has no power under its economy. The government has no power under the movement of currency, which we maybe have some taxation, we may have some tax, we may draw from the expenses being spent by the individual. So why? So this is how, normally the money, it has just to be only the medium of exchange, units of value, and accounts of units. So these are the attributes of money conventionally. But central bank also, they are using such to generate profit, to generate some revenue in order to boost the economy and also maintain the government expenditures. So on that issue, we understand or we realize that government also are benefiting from what people are doing in terms of transaction. So now when you develop a currency that has nothing to do with government, the government may start thinking that you are sabotaging the government. But people have been complaining, why can't us innovate our new system of currency? Because government has been a key in terms of gingering those who are demoralized people's mind. Because people today, you may hear that you deposited your money into a financial institution, or you put your money into a financial institution, and at the end of the day, you hear that, yes, the financial institution went to bankruptcy, and you have nothing to do. You lose your savings and others. So people are saying, we are tired now. We are losing confidence on what exactly financial institutions are doing. So why can't us innovate and develop our ways of doing things? So that is the thinking behind the cryptocurrency. So the word cryptocurrency is derived from the encryption techniques which are used to secure the network. So when we say encryption, we are trying to say that it's a kind of network that protects the privacy and also the people's transaction technically on network. So blockchain, like I've said, blockchain, which are organizational methods for ensuring the integrity of transactional data, are an essential component of many cryptocurrencies. So definitely, blockchain is being developed in such currencies because they have realized that blockchain, it has a transparent way of it and can also make things work properly. So the blockchain, like I've said, please let us understand that blockchain is different, and also cryptocurrency, that is the digital currency or visual currency, is also a different thing. Two things are coming together to make a very efficient move of something. Many experts believe that the blockchain and the related technology would disrupt many industries, including finance and law. Yes, of course, finance and law, it has to be disrupted because the government will not drive, or the government will not benefit anything from individuals. The individuals now, they are self-sufficient, and also those who monitor their finance activities. So there is nothing like law on cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency face criticisms for a number of reasons, including their use of illegal activities, exchange rate, volatility, and vulnerabilities of the infrastructure underlying them. However, they have been praised for their portability, divisibility, inflation resistance, and also transparency. Yeah, so these are something that also gingered the cryptocurrency to become a so famous thing that you may understand the inflation and other issue of transparency. The transparency is there. Inflation is not the control inflation, very serious. That is resistance in terms of inflation, and also is portable in terms of usage. So how they used to manage the inflation? They developed, or they give out the limited number of cryptocurrencies so that you cannot have more cryptocurrencies in domain, so it will not inflate, it will not generate inflation. Look at it. Look at something that people also are criticizing cryptocurrency on. Then before cryptocurrency, like Bitcoin, let me give you an example of Bitcoin. Bitcoin in 2015, the Bitcoin is 357 in 2015. But in January 2021, Bitcoin, it has boosted to 34,000 US dollars. $34,000. Please, can anyone tell me, is there any currency that can hit in that distance? We can see even our local distance, what do you call it? Local currencies compared to US dollar is not that huge in terms of moving off very fast, excluding Malawi. I think Malawi, they are the one that experience very volatile system of currency. I don't know. The former president, is it Malawi? Sorry, I think if Robert Mugabe, I think Zimbabwe. Thank you so much, Zimbabwe. Not Malawi. Thank you so much. So thank you so much. Zimbabwe, of course. So you can see how Zimbabwe got inflated. but not like this. So we are trying just to cite an example. Okay, let us look at the types of cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrency. We have various types. That is the different types of cryptocurrency. The first blockchain being used, but the one that is more famous and the one that used the first time that used blockchain is Bitcoin. That's why the Bitcoin becomes so famous. So the first blockchain based on cryptocurrency was Bitcoin, which still remains the most popular and the most vulnerable. Today, there are thousands of alternative cryptocurrencies with various functions and specification. Some of these are clone or fork of Bitcoin, while others are new currencies that were built from scratch. So you can see today we have many currencies which we are called cryptocurrencies, which are digital or visual currencies. So it's not only Bitcoin. The Bitcoin is only a famous currency, is a famous currency that uses blockchain, and that blockchain makes it famous. You know, the guy that developed blockchain is a Russian, he's from Russia. And also at that moment, I watched one of his documentary. He said that the money is being paid by Bitcoin at that moment. It's not that huge amounts of money. It's a minimal compared to what he's receiving today. So, but he's patient enough to even work out for this, and now the cryptocurrency becomes a famous currency in the world. So how cryptocurrency works in blockchain? Please let us just demonstrate how that works in the blockchain so that we can, when we come to our next session, it will, when we start discussing about Bitcoin and other ways, other cryptocurrencies, these digital currencies, it will be more easier for us to understand it very clearly. So look at it. This is the first way, that is the first volume of how blockchain works. A wants to send the money to B. A wants to send the money to B. That is, for instance, I want to send the money to one of our participants. So, but I have only Bitcoin. The Bitcoin is the only what I have in my domain. So what will happen? I have to go to my wallet. The transaction is represented as a block. You can see something to block. That is exactly how that transaction will appear. That is block. So the number two, I checked and the money is there in my account. That is the currency. The block, the Bitcoin, for instance, is there. So the block two is telling me this is the money you have, or this is the money you wanted to transact to other parties. So how did I do, or how that will be? So I will send it. When I send it to B, it will not directly drop into B's account. No, it will just transact and broadcast the network of nodes. So it will show that there is a node moving all over looking for, and also the computer will broadcast it. That is, the network will broadcast it for the miners to start looking. Who is sending this is this, and who wants to receive this, who he intends to send to is the B. Okay, so now they have to identify, is this a valid block? Yes. So the computers, I put 4 computers here, but there are many computers. So the block will be broadcast to them. After verifying it, look at how they will verify. Number 4, you can see the ticket good, good, good. It means the network validate the transaction. The transaction is valid. So what will happen next? Now they will send it to block and add it to that block. So the block would be, now the block can be added to blockchain in a way that is permanent and unalterable. It won't be, you can't alter it anymore, because it's been transferred and also put it in a block way, so that the block is being named and also what is inside is belong to party B. So the money moves from A to B. That is how blockchains works. So there is nothing like central bank here. There is nothing, when they says intermediary, when finance people are talking and they says intermediaries, they are referring to financial institutions. So they are referring to central banks. They are referring to any institutions that mediate between the transaction. But in this, we have not seen any financial institution in between. Only network works. So this how this thing demonstrated here is so significant. Please, you put this thing in your mind, because when we start talking about the criticisms, the issues related to Bitcoin and how the blockchain works, there are a lot of issues in even movement of this coin. So, but now we are just introducing. We wanted you to understand the fundamental areas, the fundamental part of Bitcoin. Advantage of cryptocurrency. The cryptocurrency holds the promise of making it easier to transfer funds directly between the two parties. We can see how we transfer the money theoretically in our blockchain previously. You can see how that one is easier without the need for trusted third party. Please mark this word, third party, without the need for a trusted third party. So when what are they referring to trusted third party here? They are referring to financial institution. They are referring to central bank. They make approval before they proceed with your own transfer or transaction. But in this, there is nothing like this. It's network works for all. So party like a bank or credit card company. Have you seen it? Like a bank or credit card company. These transfers are instead secured by the use of public key and private key. So when you are making this transaction, it's not just like that. You just make a public key, you put your password and this thing and make transfer without having your own private. If not, the hackers will hack your account. They would withdraw the coin you are having in your wallet. But you have your own private key, and also there is a public key. Public key, everyone can see your transaction, but they don't know who is the person that sent the transaction. But they can see it on block, everyone. So that's why they said it's transparent. So and they also say that there is nothing like proof of work or proof of stake. That is nothing incentives in the system. But there is incentives, definitely, because the miners are being paid. But incentives in the sense that there is no physical incentive being taken by the financial institution. I hope you understand. You are getting me right. Number two, in a modern cryptocurrency system, a user wallet. When we said wallet, is where you deposit, where you put like your email box. So there is an email in your box. If you wanted to see one email or two emails, you go and log in and see the same thing wallet. If you have a currency in your wallet, the currency is there. You can log in and see what amount you are having under your wallet. So the wallet or account address, that's what you log into it and have access to your own money, has a public key, while the private key is known only to owner. But the private key, that one is private. Public key, like I said, everyone can see it, but the private key, you are the only person knows your private key. And they use to sign transaction. So if you are making transaction, you make use of it. Funds are transferred completely with minimal processing fee. Have you seen it? You can pay the processing fee, but it's minimal, allowing user to avoid the steps fee charged by the bank and financial institution for wire transfer. That's they are trying to criticize and also demonize the financial institution. But that one is the advantage of it. Let us hear the disadvantage of cryptocurrency. The semi-anonymous nature of cryptocurrency transaction makes them well suited for a host of illegal activity. So if now you are making your own ways of doing inactivities, things, you can do it with cryptocurrency without anybody knows, because it will be there in domain. People can see it, but no one can know the owner of that is the person that make transaction. So the legal activities, something like money laundering and also evading tax invention, will be there too. So it's a serious problem to government, money laundering and tax evasion. You can deny by not paying tax. Okay, however, the cryptocurrency advocate often highly value their anonymity, citing benefit of privacy, like protection for whistleblower or activities living under repressive government. Some cryptocurrencies are more private than others. So something like whistleblower, those that steal people's money or they stole people's money illegally, you cannot have an access to know what exactly been moving. And also whistleblower, those that used to draw the attention of government in terms of illegal activities, will not have that such privilege in making such instance of cryptocurrency or digital currency or digital visual currency. Bitcoin, for instance, the example is Bitcoin. But some says that is relatively poor choice for conducting illegal business online because they have the forensic analysis of Bitcoin blockchain has helped authorities arrest and prosecute criminals. More privacy-oriented coins do exist. However, such as Dash, Monero, or Zcash, which are far more difficult to trace. So if you compare Bitcoin to other currencies, the one that we are having or the one that we mentioned, Bitcoin is secured and more reliable compared to others. Okay, let us listen to the criticisms of cryptocurrency. Since market prices for cryptocurrencies are based on supply and demand, that is the market being moved up and down, the need of cryptocurrency is based on demand and supply of the currency. The rate at which a cryptocurrency can be exchanged for another currency can fluctuate widely, since the design of many cryptocurrency issues a high degree of scarcity. So we say that is it manage its inflation by putting minimal number of cryptocurrency in the domain. So they try to minimize the inflation. So if the currency is scarce, definitely the amounts to buy such currency will definitely go high. So that is exactly what is happening. No, so in 2015 you see something like this, but in 2021 you are seeing something more extensive, like the one I showed previously. Maybe in second paragraph we can see it. Bitcoin has experienced some rapid surge and collapses in value, claiming a high. At times he experienced a very high and at times low. In 2017, if I may recall vividly, Bitcoin was around 19,000 something, 19,000 US dollars. But after some days or after some months, it has dropped to 7,000 because of what? Collapse happened in that era. But now Bitcoin in 2015 December, for instance, is 357 US dollars, like I've said previously. But now in 2021, it's 34,000. So cryptocurrency are thus considered by some economics to be a short-lived fad or speculative bubbles. All economics are predicting some issues related to it. So there are some concerns that cryptocurrency like Bitcoin are not rooted in any material good. Some researchers, however, has identified that the cost of producing a Bitcoin, which requires an increasingly large amount of energy, is directly related to its market. So please mark this word. Cryptocurrency, more especially Bitcoin, is consuming a lot of amount of energy. This word, we are going to discuss it later in our criticisms when we come to the issue of Bitcoin and also related to it, and is it Sharia compliant or not, and what are the things that do make Bitcoin permissible or not. All these things will be discussed. Cryptocurrency are highly secured, but other aspects of cryptocurrency ecosystem, including exchange and wallet, are not immune to the threat of hackers, that is hacking. In Bitcoin 10 years history, several online exchanges have been subject to hacking and theft, sometimes with millions of dollars without coin stolen. So nonetheless, many observers see potential advantages in cryptocurrency, like the possibility of preserving value against inflation and facilitating exchange, while being easier to transport and divide than precious metal, and existing outside the influence of central bank and the government. So they are not under any regulation they are not under any part of any government or authority, so that the Bitcoin do consider significant in terms of transaction and other relevant issue related. So I hope, thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed the session, despite that we have a lot to talk about the Bitcoin. We just started. This one is just an introductory remarks, and I hope you get it right. Thank you so much for being part of the session. And over to you, Prof. Despite that we are going to have a second session for question and answers and also quiz like we used to do. But now over to you, Prof, for any comments.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tijjani. Okay, well, I want to do the request to all the participants. I am requesting all the participants to participate in the discussion forum. Okay, the discussion is basically a question that is floated with the video of these lectures. In the comment section of that video, you have to give your answers. So this is very valuable for you. It will develop your understanding. Okay, so there is going to be a 10 minutes break now, and after the 10 minutes, we are going to rejoin with the question answer session and the quiz. All right. Thank you very much.
Okay, please let us have a 10 minutes break and we'll be back. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, Dr. Tijjani, we can proceed, sir. So first the question.
Yes, okay.
The forum is open for the question answer session.
Yes, I think the floor is open. The door is open for all, and the mics under your domain. If you have a question, please, you are free to raise up your hand so that will allow you to ask your question, please.
Okay, Dr. Tijjani, there are different kind of cryptocurrencies. If you see the list, there are about 45
Yes.
different kinds of cryptocurrencies. And
Yes.
some of them are considered as Islamic and some are not. What is the basic philosophy behind this?
No, actually, if you are to look at them, you need to follow, it's not all of them are operating on blockchains. So you need also to look at them and also check and balance, verify the activities of those currencies, digital currencies. So from there, you come up with a solution. For instance, now like a Bitcoin that we have to discuss on it because it has become a famous thing and there are some controversial issues on, which is many scholars, there are some, the scholars are divided into three. Some do agree that it has a lot of volatility, and also it contains element of garar, which is uncertainty, and also there are a lot of things related. Some do say it's not allowed because do not meet the primary stipulations of Sharia. That is the fundamental thing. And some, that is the category number 3, do agree that yes, it's perfectly okay. People can interact with because it's just a medium of exchange and also accounts of value, and also the rest of evidence is being given. But in our future discussion, we are to discuss them in details. But now, the reason why we are restricting ourselves to cryptocurrency, like I've said, the cryptocurrency has developed a system where some people are seeing that it's permissible and others are seeing that it's not. So we are reserving some informations. When we comes to the issue deeply, when we come to the issue of Bitcoin, that's when we are going to expatiate it much better so that we understand and very wide of it.
Okay, thank you very much. My perspective was that there should be an international Islamic forum where financial institution, where one can check the status of these currencies.
Yes, Prof. There are some windows and also forums which organize such, but the issue is not the issue of let us adopt a currency to make use of it. No, how the Islamic finance is anything in Islamic finance is allowed unless the thing that proves itself that is not halal. So the processes you have to follow the processes. So the
But do you
processes
feel
you
that
check
a
and
common
balance.
person, Dr. Tijjani, a common person, a common man, do you feel that he is able to understand these complicated processes? On the face of it, they look very
Yes.
much legal and very much right. Okay, but what is the back end? So we need to have some expert advice as well from the different world.
Yes, actually,
Generally, our governments ban few currencies. Okay, so that is one of the way that we can say, okay, this is legal or illegal. But from the Islamic point of
yes,
view, we should also have some guideline as well.
even Bitcoin can be allowed. All other currencies can be halal, but I think there are some a little amendment. If I were to ask, for instance, who is the inventor of Bitcoin, no one can tell you. Someone say that Satoshi Nakamoto is not the person, because the person come publicly and said no, and the person that is being claimed that is the one that created or invented Bitcoin, he said that he will not appear on the screen anymore. That's what he told BBC. BBC make an investigation and they got one person, which is I think American or someone in that age. He says yes, he is the one that invented Bitcoin, but as from today, he will not appear on screen anymore. So even the Bitcoin itself, you don't know who is the person, that is, who is the owner of Bitcoin. So you cannot operate on Gharar or uncertainty. I'm not saying that this is the issue, but some of the scholars' view are saying so. So when we come to the issue of Bitcoin, things like this will be expatiated and we'll discuss it in a much details. Thank you, Mr. Bashir. Zanabu.
Bashir wants to ask the question,
Salam,
please. Bashir.
salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
So my question is already, Prof asked it about Bitcoin. Is it halal or not?
Yes, of course, our next section, by God's grace, we are going to expatiate on it, because this one is just an introductory remarks for cryptocurrencies. Let us understand the cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin is one of the cryptocurrencies that we have. It's not that Bitcoin itself is the only cryptocurrency or digital currency we are having. No, we have plenty of digital currencies. But what we are going to discuss on very widely, because the Bitcoin become a famous, and it's also developed a system that is efficient system that people are seeing working all over, which we call it blockchain. So please, we have to be patient enough to look at it for our future classes. The issue of Bitcoin will be much discussed and also expatiated. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for this wonderful lecture presented to us. My question is, sir, what do you think bring about arguments between Islamic scholars, especially here in Nigeria? Some are saying it is legal. Some are saying it is illegal. What bring all these arguments? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Osman. This is a very good question. Of course, in Nigeria, you must have this kind of things. At times, the issue of legality of this system, definitely there must be issues on it. There must be question mark on those who are legalizing this aspect of it. Because if, for instance, the reason why I make this presentation to be at the last stage of our discussion, after interest rate, after gambling, after uncertainty, please, we should be relating our former discussion, our previous discussion, with the current situation we are in, because we have talked about uncertainty. So uncertainty is the kind of things that is not allowed for you to interact with hiddenly or in an obvious part of it. So if you look at it, the Bitcoin issue, for instance, the inventor is unknown inventor. It's unknown. How do you operate, or how do you interact, or how do you associate with someone that is unknown to you? but the Bitcoin would be legal and also allowed, and also the cryptocurrency may be also works in any form of it if the government takes over, because the government guarantees you and also give you a legal backing. Whatever happens, the government will back you and will pay you back. But for instance, if today the owner of Bitcoin decided that people are too much disturbing him, and he went ahead and crashed the program or crashed the system, what do you think will happen? So we need to think of things, we need to look at. So I'm not backing those who say that it's legal, and I'm not backing those who say that it's not legal, but we are going to discuss it in our future instances, like I've said. But now think of this. We are pleased to relate our issues with the previous discussion, like uncertainty, gambling, interest. We have even discussed issue in our first series, much issue related to Islamic Bank. So I'm hoping that you will be linking these issues together with others so that it will give us a more fruitful distinct result. But by God's grace, inshallah, we are going to have much discussion on it in our next class.
Okay, thank you
Yes.
very much.
Any other question?
Any other question from
Yeah. So I will also send my quiz right away and the password, which I'm hoping to see it right away in your chat box. Please, you can, yes, the password is this, so you can see it there, and you go ahead and take it. That's it. So, any question related to Bitcoin? Sorry, related to cryptocurrency? I can see Muhammad Farash is joining.
This is a very important topic of the cryptocurrency and this blockchain. Most of us are even not completely knowledgeable about these things, the different types of it, different, I mean to say, they're working. But we find there are many people who are working around on this, and they sometimes even motivate others to participate in these things. But there is a confusion. From the government level, sometimes you find that it is illegal or they stop it. But even then, we find if it is illegal, then why the people are, I mean to say, publicly working on it.
Yes, sir.
That is also very confusing for us.
Yes, of course. Government will not accept it because definitely it will be undermine the government activity, more especially in terms of tax paying. So tax invention will be there, and people will be the government will not have something to spend. So the government that knows what is doing and also understand the strategy of this thing will definitely boycott. Like Nigeria here, we do the government, the central bank proscribe these activities of Bitcoin because definitely it will undermine the activities of the government. So, and some of the tax that's what government is relying on, and when it's being cut off, it will be serious case or issue.
Yeah, I have a question related to that. What would be I mean to say, also add into your answer, that what you are looking the future of these cryptocurrency, are they going to replace the present form of transaction and the currencies? Or what is the future? I mean to say, this is one of the, you can say, kind of the thing that we hear in the public, that this is going to be the future of the currency.
Yes, actually, the future of cryptocurrency would be so brighter. But the problem is, I don't believe that the future of Bitcoin would be brighter as we are seeing if the policies and also the attributes do not change. Because no government that is a wise government will agree with such activities, that there are a lot of question marks in it. But the cryptocurrency, because of the cashless policy, people will invent more things that government will support it. More especially, using of blockchain now is being asked and attracted for several issues, more especially like electricity, urban electrification, and other related things. Blockchain invites, that is, people are proposing, even may have make a research using blockchain through that decentralized issues, decentralized activities of the government. Blockchain will also contribute. Zakat, for instance, blockchain will also contribute in terms of paying zakat because it's obvious and it's transparent. Blockchain will be used in terms of giving out a wakaf this thing for people that are in need of wakaf. All these things will be used by blockchain. But
This
the
is a very
Bitcoin,
important, this is very interesting
yes, but the
aspect of it.
yes, yes, but the Bitcoin definitely, if the policies and also the attributes of Bitcoin do not change, future definitely it will be fed. It will last because you can see the volatility in it. In 2015, there is it's not normal as I presented. In 2015, it's 357 per Bitcoin. But what of now? It's 34,000 US dollar. So it's not normal. It's not something that you will be thinking it as normal, for instance. So it has high volatility, and I don't believe that there is a single currency in the history of the world
In a very
that
simple
moves in
terms,
such.
in a very simple term, we can say it will be legal in the future. There will be some you can say there will be some kind of the rules and regulations will be developed for these classes to be operated in any country. Okay, so
Yeah,
we can
that's of
say
course,
we
of
can
course.
say we can say this is a kind of the right now it is a kind of the test phase. Okay, all over the world that people are inventing new ways of doing the things. So this is a kind of a new technology, new way of doing the thing, and it is evolving with the time. So we should wait a little bit for them to be a legal, to get the legal status all over the world.
Of course. So I think it's good, definitely. We know, the issue is even masses are so nervous. Masses are so worried about the activities of financial institutions nowadays. So if you are worried and someone have pressed a button that you think it will solve your problem, definitely you will be buying with that kind of idea, no matter how harsh the idea is. But at least if there is nothing like this, if people are not depressed with the kind of the activities financial institutions are rendering, people will not even care about such inventions. But now people are more key into it. They even decided to put more money into that Bitcoin in order to even buy or to go and deposit their money under or in a financial institution. So because of that, we may see definitely people will embark or people will even embrace the issue of cryptocurrency, but not as a Bitcoin, because Bitcoin definitely you are operating it based on high risks and volatility. Because I've told you in our previous presentation that in 2017 it was around 19,000 US dollars per Bitcoin. But after some months, 3 to 4 months, it's dropped to 7,000. So for instance, if you bought it at the rate of 19,000 and you kept it in your wallet, later on, after 3 months, dropped to 7,000. What do you think? Are you doing business, or is the currency you are you are saving? That's the question. So definitely it has some kind of volatility, like I've said previously, that people may not buy the idea and also agree with it.
So if I ask you a question, what is the physical shape of the Bitcoin? Does it have a shape, paper shape or metallic form, or it is an electronic form?
Okay. So yeah, we have no physical part of cryptocurrency. They are all digital folder. It's just like a folder you created in your file in your computer and put it in your this thing. This is what digital cryptocurrency is. There are no physical cash. There are no coin of that kind of this thing. It's been designed only for you to see it, but it's a computer folder. We have no physical.
But it does have the financial value on the back end.
Yeah, it has value. It has value. That is the value. It has value, but it has no physical or this thing. It has value.
It's like a
it has
debit
value.
card. If you have the debit card or the credit card, it is not. It is giving you. It is a plastic money. It is giving you some financial value. But that is not. That is
Yeah,
also
you can.
electronics. That is also in the form of the electronics or the digital form. But on the back end, in the back, you have the money reserved for that.
Yeah, but the the credit card is different with this kind of this thing, because the credit card you have a hold of that card, for instance, and also you can access the physical part of it. Only what is being accumulated on you is the money being withdrawn from the financial institution, when withdraw from the bank, will withdraw from the that credit card company. So you have no issue because you can access the physical. In that section, in that part, we classify that one as a what? As an interest, which is a debt that is based on interest rate. But if normally if there is nothing like such debt in it, the credit card must be permissible. That is because you have a physical cash. You have also you can access money in any time you want. Only that the accumulation of debt being on you, that is where the problem is. If you default it, you must pay with addition. If you do not default it, you have to pay with the interest rate. That's what makes credit card not permissible. That's what makes credit card impermissible, not allowed, haram, under Sharia compliance. But if credit card is not like that, it's not operating based on interest rate, it's not operating based on what do you call it? That is interest rate accumulation of interest rate, compound interest rate, for instance, or overdraft, for instance, you have no problem. You have no problem with a credit card, because credit card, you have access to physical cash, while cryptocurrency, you cannot withdraw your physical aspect of it. It's only digital. You do transfer it. That's why I say under policy, that is credit, that is what do you call it? Cashless policy. They will promote it under cashless policy, but under normal policy of financial institution being withdrawing and depositing, it won't find a place there. I hope I answered your question.
Definitely. Thank you very much. So I think the participants have.
Participant, no questions. I was expecting more questions to come when we are discussing issue related to cryptocurrency, but not much.
Alameen wants to.
Okay, I mean,
Yeah.
do you have any question?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Yeah, I'm not much into programming. That's why today my participation here is very low. But it's somehow confusing because you made an example with Bitcoin, maybe to invest in Bitcoin. So I want to know, Islamically, is it allowed to maybe invest a lot of money to Bitcoin so that from time to time, or maybe in the next 1, 2, 3 years, when it rises up, then you just sell it. So I don't know if Islamically it's allowed for you to invest, because if you see the attributes, you might say that it's a game of chance. As a layman,
Yes.
you might say that it's gambling. How can you invest this lot of money with something that you cannot see, you are not certain? Even the owner who initiated the Bitcoin is not there, you don't know. So it's like it's more like Mason for me.
Very excellent.
So,
now this is the kind of thinking I wanted us to be thinking of. That's how these and how can I that is to compare between the former discussion and the previous and the current discussion we are having. So it's a very interesting question, Alami. The issue is having such amounts. Normally, if we look at it legally under Islamic perspective, currency is not tradable. Money is not tradable. Coin is not tradable. is only a
Okay.
medium of exchange. So, but if it has a higher volatility, which if you can have it today, but tomorrow it will be drastically gone down or highly moved up, it means that it's a sin. It's not a currency, because I think maybe you are up to 40 or 30 or 20, for instance, or 50 or 60. I don't know actually, but you can think of since you are born, for instance, the Nigerian currency, if you are Nigerian, the Nigerian currency, you see something like with US dollar is from 1 to 300 to 400 nowadays. Over 20 something years you spent in your distance, or 30 or 40 years. Are you getting me? But if you look at it, if you look at the cryptocurrency within a short period of time, from 357 to 34,000 US dollars. It's not Naira, US dollars.
Yeah,
From
dollars, yes.
357 to 34,000 US dollars. You know that is insane. It's uncertain.
Very, yes.
It's something that is attributed to gambling or uncertainty or speculation, right? So the volatility, that's what makes some of the scholars disagree with the system, which we are not talking about the Bitcoin now. We are talking about the introductory remarks of cryptocurrency, which is the Bitcoin issue will be discussed in our future classes. But at least you may think of it. So is it something that is not normal, and is it something that is not advisable for someone to me, for instance, to me, I'm just saying that the personal view is not that what scholars are saying. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
I think there must be some investigation on these issues. So please, you have to be patient when it comes to the issue of Bitcoin. More elaboration will be cited and also discussed in our future discussion. I hope I answered your question. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much for that.
Is there any other question from anyone so that we can end the session? Dr. Tijjani?
I think no questions. I think no question. Yes. So thank you so much. Yeah, I got the feedback. Thank you so much, and let us see inshallah next week. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, sir.